That is what we're after. Well, so not long after, my GoPro battery died, my cell phone died. I stuck it out for another 10 minutes and the hole kept freezing over, and it felt like I had 100 million tiny little knives just piercing into my fingers. I definitely gave up on that, drove all the way back to my storage unit, unloaded my sled, reloaded my actual sled, and now we're back. I'm gonna set that thing up, get my heater going, and make this a little bit more bearable on everything. This is 1,000 times better. I'll be able to I can actually feel my fingers. Got my heater rolling, got my little house set up. The wind is blowing like 25-30 miles an hour, so we'll see if I can keep this going, and hopefully we don't get blown over, but now we should be able to get after those giant gills. So I set up this time kind of just off the brush pile. I'm gonna start with that Castmaster. Have a glass ice rod, and I'm gonna actually try some of these deceased wax worms. I mean, there's a couple that seem to have a little bit of life left in them. Like, oh, not really, I guess. Now we're talking. That wind is ripping out there though. Gosh. There's my jig. I've already got something on it. A lot of interference. I'm gonna turn that gain down just a little bit. That's better. So it seems like I've got no problem getting them in right now, but might need to reduce my offering a little bit. Hang on there, heater. Hang on. Oh, it's gonna blow out. There. Man, that was not an easy bite. Oh, might be a better gill. Oh, it's a bass. And there you have it. A little 1-pounder. Switch to the tungsten. You can see you want that bait vertical, and just by, you can see that, but just by tapping my rod, you get incredible action. So you definitely don't want to overdo it when the bite's like this. Oh gosh, that was actually, oh, that one actually bit it. Dang it. I honestly don't know how I missed that one. There we go. There. That transducer messed me up last time. Not this time. Oh, that's a decent gill. That's a pretty good one. Still not quite the one I'm after. That's gonna go 9 1/4. Definitely a nice fish. Let's see if I can find another barely alive. It's my experience that these fish don't like dead wax worms. And I can't say I blame them. There's one right there. Man, my screen just lit up. That's not a bluegill, that's a bass. Yep, that's a bass. See if we can see him under the ice. So this is 2-pound test, so I don't want to lose my tungsten jig, but definitely got a little bass action going here. That's why I put my rod down in the water, so the line does not rub against the ice. That's the easiest way to break your line. Yep, little bass. Gosh, not super little. Man, no wonder that thing ate. Look at how skinny that is. No, 16-incher. Ugh. Man, I just turned my heater down and I can see my breath again. So while I'm sitting here, let's take a look at some of the stuff that I'm fishing with. And of course, this is probably when I'll get bit. So, absolute favorite ice fishing jig. These VMC fly jigs are incredible. I've got all different sizes here, as you can see. I think you can see that. These things are incredible. They've got such a good horizontal presentation. Emulate little butt. Oh, there's a fish down there. Hold on a second. Okay, and he's gone. So again, you can see I'm fairly confident in just a select few colors. So I love the UV jigs are awesome, especially with low light conditions. With the tungsten jigs, I've got chartreuse, hot pink. You've got the bronze is probably one of my favorites. It's what I'm using right now. White also a good go-to, and they work so well because, as you could see earlier, they have that really good horizontal presentation, and you can tip them with anything you'd like, and it's just a really good go-to bait when that bite gets really tough like it is right now. Oh, there's something on my bait right now. He's right. That looks like a bass again. I must be in the wrong hole for these big gills. About a foot off the bottom. I'm gonna keep. Oh, he's following it up. Oh, he's there. Oh, he was there. I mean, you can just barely see that rod move. This is so hard. I'm gonna see if I can. How far? There he is. Yeah, you have to really raise that rod up. And that's a gill. It's a bluegill. Oh, looks like a good one too. Yeah, that's a good fish. Oof, that water is cold. Another healthy gill. Still not the one I'm after, but not a bad fish. Look how thick those things are. Gracious. I'm looking for the one with that big old forehead, but I mean that's a good fish. There's a lot of meat on that thing. If I was feeling more ambitious, I'd usually keep 3 or 4 of them and make some fish tacos. I don't really feel like cleaning fish and cooking tonight. That one only looks 3/4 of the way dead, as opposed to completely dead. And the other thing that I was doing really well on earlier today, I got my little box of spoons here, and I was working a Castmaster, but probably one of my absolute favorites on this little area is the Swedish pimple. Those work really well. Also like the macho minnows, if they're a little more aggressive. That can be a really productive bait. It moves some water as it's going around. Slender spoons, another good thing. Buckshots. I've also, believe it or not, I have also had big bull gills in here hit salmo minnows and chubby darters. I mean, they're really fired up. I've got a couple 11-inchers on that salmo minnow. Unfortunately, that bite's not playing. It's not going to play today. When the bite is ultra finicky like this, you don't want to. I see a lot of people that'll hold the rod, and sometimes you don't realize how much that jig is moving when you just tap it, just like that. That can really be everything you need to entice a bite on really tough days. That, or sometimes they just want it not moving at all. That front is pushing through right now, giving us a very high pressure system, and that, for me, that doesn't usually equate to the best fishing. Alright, for whatever reason, these fish don't want to eat these. Oh. Man, having the strike indicator is really nice. That's a good gill. That's a good gill. That's much more. That's what we're after. Yes. Woo, that's a big gill. having that strike indicator was key. You cannot feel these bites. There's our 10-incher. Sweet. That is a 10 1/4 inch bull gill. That's a beautiful specimen. So of course, the second I talk about changing baits, that big old bull hits. So we're gonna stick with the half-dead wax worms. Oh, definitely some fish here. There we go. First drop on this new spot. And it's another good gill. That was the first drop down there. That's a good sign. The wind is only supposed to get worse, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stay out here. There we go. Okay. What happened? Oh, no! That is why you don't get on your phone. There we go. Oh, it's a bass. Looks like a... Oh man, my whole sled's moving. Yeah, that's a bass. Notice how when I moved a little bit, my entire sled about blew away. I'd like to get one more big gill before I go. That fish was way up there. That's a gill, I can tell. Yep, big gill. Yes. That thing's got a little forehead bone. Yes. That's what I needed. That fish popped in suspended. The sun's going down and the wind is going to only get worse, so I'm going to load up and probably get out of here. Bite was a little slower than I wanted it to be today, but I was still able to catch them, even though it was super hard to detect those bites. This helped a lot. St Croixs Legend Black Ice, this strike indicator, you can just see how the smallest amount of pressure, you've got that ultra sensitive indicator. So that was really helpful. How that worked. So I'm gonna get loaded up before I blow away. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully have some more action later on this week.